Hey guys, Lindell and Chris. This is week 2
of our communication tools series, if you will. So last week was our fight card. So how to have a productive and healthy fight when you're communicating with people. So we will put a link to that video. And then next week, we're going to be talking about love languages. So this week, priority pyramid. Ha, that was so good.
A priority pyramid, it's one of the 3 big tools in our tool belt for our marriage, at least. Again, this is one of the tools that we got during our marriage counseling prior to getting married.
The goal of the priority pyramid is for you to understand what is a priority in your life, so then you can make decisions. So you can say yes and no and make sure that you are headed in the right direction. Why this is super important as far as communication is concerned is that if you have other people in your life where your decisions are affecting them, if you have a solid understanding of your priority pyramid, you can share that with them, and you can also discuss it with them and agree on certain priorities and things like that. So this is not just for people who are in a relationship. It is just for you to understand what you should be saying yes to. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. And
it's true for work environments too. You always want to ask your boss, hey, who gets my time? Person A or person B? And there's a certain hierarchy.
Yeah.
Or person C. There's a certain hierarchy that you have to follow. And if your direct manager isn't getting your A game, isn't getting your number one, isn't your highest priority at work, you might get fired.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's true in every part of your life. And I think with us, it was something that I had everything in one bucket. I had a bucket pyramid, and that's not a pyramid. It's just a bucket of everyone. And Lindell would be on the same kind of priority level as work. So as I'm the type of person...
Or everyone. Anything and everything. Anything that would go in front of his face.
So she would just be added to the list. That's not exactly the right way to establish a good relationship or just live your lives. That's just...
Or even a healthy lifestyle for you, too.
Yeah, that's true.
And I personally really love helping people. I have a lot of trouble saying no when people ask me to do things. And so when you have the priority pyramid, it's this really nice filter that you can put things through. So you get an opportunity. They say, hey, are you available to blah, blah, blah? You see where it lands on your priority pyramid. And if it's high, absolutely, I'm going to make time for that. And if it's a little bit lower, you go, you know what? I have time for that in 3 months from now. If it's not on your priority pyramid at all, nope. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe don't do it.
Yeah. So essentially, we are going to go through this worksheet with you right now. So the goal is for you to be able to create your own priority pyramid. So on the last page, you're going to actually fill out this priority pyramid. And again, this is how we've done it, so it helps us, but by all means, if you need to add and subtract, just make it work for you. And of course, if you have any questions about the process, email us or ask us in the comments below.
Okay.
Step 1,
go ahead.
Page 1, brainstorm. Okay, so what you are going to do, we have these 2 questions and then a space for you to answer these questions. So what is important to you? Set a timer for 7 minutes and write down everything that is important to you. Do not edit or judge yourself. Write it as a list, a paragraph, anything. So the idea is kind of what we call a brain dump, where you literally just kind of word vomit onto this paper and don't say, oh, I didn't spell that right, or oh, I shouldn't care about that, and blah, blah, blah. Forget it. Don't judge. Just write 7 minutes and see what comes out.
You called it a stream of consciousness at one time?
It's stream of consciousness writing. Right. Yep.
So
absolutely.
I think that's really important because you probably have things on the top of your mind that maybe you don't want to write down or you don't think you should write it down. But this activity, just don't limit yourself. Just write it down.
Yep.
And then afterwards, read it and see what comes out and see what truths are actually there. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting activity.
It is. And it's very telling if you really allow yourself to just write whatever comes out.
Right. And you got to be honest, because all these activities are just about honesty and transparency and getting it off of your, out of your head, like allowing yourself to be less stressful or stressed because you're actually addressing all of the, priorities in your life, all of the thoughts in your life, all of the concerns you have in a real and direct manner.
So now on to brain dump or stream of consciousness question 2. Think about your life. What if you were at the end of your life? What would you want to look back and see? What do you want around you? What would you have wanted to accomplish? So again, set another timer for 7 minutes and write your thoughts. No judgments. What do you want to see? Do you want to look around and see grandbabies? Do you want to look around and see the book that you wrote? Do you want to see a spouse? Do you want to be in a house? Like what, literally anything and everything. If you were at the end of your life, what do you want to look back and see? There's no wrong answer. None.
Yeah. We'll dive into this a little bit with other activities down the line
Goal
with
setting.
goal setting. Really
Yeah.
fun stuff.
Yeah.
It really is. I love goal setting, and that's a big, one of the things we do. Hopefully, I think pretty well. I'm going to say pretty well.
Yeah.
Be less humble about it. Like if you haven't thought about it, and everybody gets to that point, you really need to come to terms with what's important to you. What do you actually want to do? What do you want to focus on? What are your priorities in life? And you might realize that, maybe that job is a little lower on the list or higher, depending on where you are.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people do get they feel a lot of self-judgment. Like, I would like to see a certain accomplishment. That's fine. Totally fine. Go for it. Okay, so once we've done that, we're going on to page 2, categories. So read your answer to number 1 and start to put each of those items that you wrote down into categories. We recommend creating 5 categories, but by all means, make 6, 7, 3, doesn't matter. Just put them into categories that are right for you and fill out the boxes below. We have them right here. And here are some category suggestions, but again, please pick what works for you. Health, self-care, spiritual, significant other, children, relationships, work, family, other.
I think you have to change my priority pyramid over time.
Yes.
I used to have 7 different rows, I think. Now I have, 3 at the moment, or 4?
I think you have 5.
5?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, it changes. The point is, do what is there now, and then come back to it later. It doesn't have to be the same forever. Although I did make business cards with my priority pyramid on it, so I would remember it and refer to it. I'm really visual, and I like tangible things. So
well, the reason that it changed this last time, tangent, we always do this, is because of your lung collapses.
Yeah.
And so you realize that I don't even think you had health on the pyramid at all, let alone
I like
high.
Being productive, and I loved just focusing on work and
And you did not see health as being productive.
Like sitting down at 8 o'clock in the morning and standing up at 10 o'clock at night and going to bed.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And so then you had lung collapses and realized that you weren't keeping up with your health.
Yeah.
And also when you were in the hospital, you weren't totally as productive. We were still very productive in the hospital, but not as productive as you like to be. And so you realized that you needed to play the long game. Mm-hmm. That if you were not healthy, you were not going to be able to do any of this stuff on your priority pyramid. So you put health not even back up top. You put health up top, and you've been so good about it, and you've been sleeping and exercising and just doing all the stuff that you're supposed to be doing.
A little bit. If you have a priority pyramid that is unhealthy, you've heard the stories about the CEO that slept for 3 hours and was a marathon runner and then died. You really have to have a well-balanced priority pyramid.
Well, and because you want to have this long-term game plan. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so that is why your priority pyramid changed somewhat recently. So what you're going to do, you'll see that each box has a category. So you write down the category and then you list the items beneath it.
From that brain dump.
Yes, from the brain dump on the first page. That's the first stream of consciousness on the first page. So then we get down to the priorities. Do you want to read this one?
Sure. Read your answer to question number 2 on the front, the second brain dump we did. And use this answer to put categories in priority order. The idea here is to make sure that what you focus on will help you get to your goals. Keep in mind, it's not our opinion.
This is our opinion.
Oh, sorry. This is our opinion.
Next thing that he's going to say is our opinion.
But if you aren't healthy, you might not be able to do anything. But it's up to you.
So obviously that goes with the tangent that we just said, that health is on the top of the priority pyramid. Yeah. It doesn't have to be. Some people will put God. Some people will put self-care, children, spouse, whatever.
Put it on your list.
But
yeah.
put health on your priority pyramid, please.
I think a lot of people these days really focus on being productive and other things, and health often goes out the window.
Yeah, it does, unfortunately. So then write the categories in the order. 1 is the most important, so that's at the bottom of that list. Okay, and then here, the fun part. Okay, so now we have the priority pyramid on the last page. So write in your categories in each piece, and feel free to include the items from the list before to remind you of each. And remember, the top is the most important, so that's category 1. And then just fill that out. So how to use this pyramid. Keep the pyramid near you, which is, Chris said that he made business cards.
Right now it's written on the whiteboard next to my
next
desk.
to his desk, yeah.
Because I changed it.
So it's very helpful to have it. It's almost like you could put it on your vision board if you want to. Just keep it near you somewhere and refer to it when you are making decisions on how to spend your time. If you have to choose between activities or where you spend your time, money, etc., you can refer to this list, which is super helpful. And the higher up items should win out, which is what we talked about earlier. Then also, discuss your pyramid with people important to you. So this might be relevant to some of you. It might not be, not a problem at all, but significant other, roommate, family, etc. Make sure you are all on the same page and have very clear expectations. So for example, for us, let's say we did these priority pyramid activities and we came together and he saw that I put family above him. Some relationships that will be expected and totally okay and supported, and that might not be the case in other situations. Again, we are not saying that there is something right or wrong, but if you are sharing a life with another person and your life really affects somebody else, make sure that these priorities are aligned. And if they're not and you're having a little trouble, you can use our fight cards.
Yep.
Shameless plug.
Fight cards about the priority pyramid.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just very important that, since, I mean, at least for us, our lives are very intertwined, obviously, and so we need to make sure that our priority pyramids match.
Right.
And they do. So we actually created a collective priority pyramid together.
We're intense.
We are so intense, but that's okay.
3 priority pyramids then? 1 each and then 1 together. So as an example of like the actual boots on the ground of the priority pyramid, Lindell gave the example of, extended family potentially being above me or your significant other. And I think how that comes across with respect to the priority pyramid would be that, if you have 2 activities that have been asked of you, one from your spouse and one from your extended family, you would be inclined, based on this priority pyramid, to satisfy your extended family first if they were on top. So, for example, if Lindell wanted to have dinner by ourselves, my extended family wanted to have a family dinner, well, we'd probably err on family dinner.
If the extended family was higher.
Right.
Yeah.
So that could cause conflicts because that, goes against what Lindell wants. But if it was the other way around, you would probably look at this pyramid and say, oh, you know what? I understand Lindell wants to spend time together. Let's just go that way. This obviously is more complicated and nuanced than this exact example. And you should always talk about why one person wants to have dinner and, not the other and whatnot. But that's how it kind of plays out.
It really helps you to filter out opportunities. And so, for example, I have a lot of different jobs that I do. So we obviously work together and have companies, and I teach, and I'm an actor and things like that. So I do thankfully get asked to do a lot of things. And so I actually have each of those jobs kind of put into a different piece of the priority pyramid. And so if an opportunity comes from one of the higher pieces, that will take priority over another one. And it just helps me to not feel guilty. That's what it really helps me with, because I actually have a reason for why I'm doing what I'm doing, or why I'm saying no, or why I'm saying yes, even. Yeah. And that has really helped my mental health, I think.
We originally, I think, really got into priority pyramids because I had everybody in one bucket, including Lindell, my work, our side projects, like everything. And when we were first married, I think Lindell felt that I was neglecting her a little bit, in that I kind of like to do the easiest task first and get a lot accomplished. I like to be productive and efficient and whatnot. So I like to get done with all the little activities. Well, when you do that, you essentially devalue other activities. And if you don't have the priority pyramid set up, you don't really realize that by doing the easiest activity or activities for other people, you're telling those activities or people that you're addressing last that they're less important. And this pyramid really just helps you visualize and have in the front of your mind all the time what is most important. And it's not that Lindell being above work means that I need to miss a meeting if she asks a question. No. It means that I'm going to say, hey, I'm on this work meeting. If you need me, I will drop off immediately. But she knows, like, not to
abuse it.
Not to abuse it, right?
Yeah.
So it is a give and take a little bit, but as long as you have that understanding, it's clear you both have the priority pyramids. She knows she's on top of work and can ask me to do that, and I will do that, and I have done that. It's just very comforting.
Yeah, and it allows, I don't know, it allows you to even make collective decisions together,
Right.
which is really nice. And I think you have a really great example of, yes, I am higher than your work category, which is really nice. And the fact that I know that allows me to feel comfortable with you committing to work, which is kind of an odd result, but it is really helpful because I know if I call him twice, he's answering the phone, no matter what's happening. Or if for some reason that there's something that I really want to do and you have to miss a work thing, you will. And that feels really good to me.
It's comforting. Yeah.
So we also, so obviously this is available below if you want to just download the PDF version of it. And we also do, if you want cards for your priority pyramid, we're going to have those too available on our website. And again, if you have any questions or this helps you, comment below, let us know, share it with people, and then stay tuned for next week. We are going to talk about love languages.
That's a good one.
Yes, it is.
Like and subscribe down below.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks.